In 1859, something extraordinary happened in the skies above Earth, a cosmic light show and a technological anomaly that left people stunned and mystified. British astronomer Richard Carrington witnessed an intense solar flare while observing the sun, and little did he know, he had just spotted the cause of what would become the most powerful solar storm in recorded history, the Carrington event. Imagine this. Gold miners in the Rocky Mountains woke up in the middle of the night, thinking it was dawn because the aurora was so bright. Telegraph operators found their systems working without any power, simply running off the insane current generated by the solar storm. Messages zipped across states like New York to Pittsburgh, powered entirely by the energy flooding Earth's atmosphere. It was a time when nature flexed its muscles, reminding humanity who's really in charge. But here's the shocking part. These massive solar storms are not as rare as you might think. The Carrington event lit up the skies around the globe, with aurora borealis visible in unexpected places like the equator and even Australia. Local newspapers marveled at the red and gold hues painting the heavens. And in 2012, Earth narrowly dodged another solar superstorm of similar magnitude. It missed us by just 12 days. What makes this even more concerning is the cycle of the sun. Every 11 years, the sun's magnetic field flips, sparking heightened solar activity during what's called the solar maximum. And guess what? We're headed straight into the next one, peaking in 2025. So the big question is, what would happen if a Carrington-level event struck today? A modern-day solar apocalypse. In our interconnected world, nearly everything depends on electricity. Our homes, phones, cars, hospitals, you name it. If another event like the Carrington storm hit, the global energy grid would be knocked offline for years. Imagine complete blackouts everywhere. No power for lights, refrigerators, or even emergency services. Entire cities would go dark. And here's a terrifying stat. A 2013 study estimated that a Carrington-scale event would cost North America's power industry alone a staggering $2.06 trillion. High-voltage transformers, the backbone of our energy systems, would be destroyed, and they're notoriously hard to replace. Global recovery wouldn't take days or months, it could take years. Ironically, the one silver lining might be the stunning, star-filled night skies visible to everyone for the first time in centuries. But stargazing wouldn't solve the bigger problem: surviving in a world without electricity. Space tech at risk. Our activities in space wouldn't escape unscathed either. Satellites that orbit Earth, especially those at high altitudes, would be bombarded by the storm's high-energy particles. Damaged or destroyed, they'd leave us without communications, GPS, or weather monitoring. Consider this. Even a relatively small geomagnetic storm in recent years cost Starlink $50 million in lost satellites. A Carrington-level storm could cripple global connectivity overnight. And what about astronauts? Radiation from such an event is deadly to human tissue. If solar activity spiked while astronauts were on the moon or aboard space stations, it could lead to catastrophic health risks. Simply put, the damage wouldn't just be limited to Earth, it would ripple across the stars. Ancient megastorms, even bigger than Carrington. Here's the mind-blowing part. The Carrington event isn't even the biggest solar storm in Earth's history. By analyzing tree rings, scientists discovered massive spikes in carbon-14 levels in the years 774 and 994 AD, indicating colossal solar storms, likely 10 to 100 times more powerful than Carrington. Just imagine what that kind of energy could do to today's fragile, tech-dependent civilization. Why the sun's cycles matter. The sun, much like Earth, has seasons. Every 11 years, it undergoes a magnetic flip, leading to a surge in activity. During these solar maximums, the sun unleashes powerful coronal mass ejections, CMEs, huge bursts of plasma and magnetic fields that can hit Earth like a freight train. The current cycle started in 2019, and we're heading straight for its peak in 2025. We've learned a lot about solar activity over the years, but much remains a mystery. One thing is certain, though: the risk is real. Some scientists estimate a 12% chance of a Carrington-level event hitting Earth in the next decade. That may sound low, but when the stakes are global, even a small risk demands serious attention. How can we prepare? So, what can we do to protect ourselves from this invisible but very real threat? The answer lies in early detection. Spacecraft like SOHO constantly monitor the sun, looking for signs of CMEs. When one is detected heading for Earth, we usually have 12 to 48 hours of warning. This might not sound like much, but it's enough time to act if we're prepared. Governments would need to shut down energy grids, disconnect transformers, and alert people to safeguard their electronics. For individuals, simple steps like wrapping small devices in tin foil can help prevent damage. Satellites would need to be put into safety mode to minimize harm. Every second counts when the clock is ticking. But even with preparation, the impacts would be devastating. Hospitals would struggle without power, potentially leading to loss of life. Modern cars, heavily reliant on electronic systems, might experience significant failures. And those living in extreme climates would face additional challenges without heating or cooling systems. A silent and deadly threat. Unlike asteroids, which often make headlines, solar storms are silent, invisible, and unpredictable. They strike without warning, disrupting life on a planetary scale. And while an asteroid impact might be rare, a solar storm hitting Earth is inevitable. It's only a matter of time. So, what can we do? For starters, awareness is key. The more we understand these events, the better we can prepare for them. And as we approach 2025, the stakes have never been higher. If history has taught us anything, it's that the sun is as beautiful as it is powerful, and it's always watching.